Hello, everybody. Welcome to TOI Sports, your guide to everything that's happening on India's tour of England. Beyond the Boundaries, the name of the show. We've got a Power Pack show, and we've got Abhijit Da joining us from Delhi. Also joining us from Delhi is Pratyush Raj, and we have Dwaipen Datta joining us from Chennai. Let's start with you, Dwaipen. Third test match, first day, lunchtime, 83 for 2. It could have been a lot worse had India held on to their catches.
Lot worse had India held on to their catches. Lot worse for England. Lot worse for India had Duckett not played that stupid shot of Nitish Kumar Reddy. Like the ball almost did not come to him. So you can see it from both sides. So it was. I think it was, but it was England's session. It was England's session because batting first on this pitch, which may have a little bit more for the pace bowlers than it had in the first two matches. 83 for 2 is they would have taken that at the beginning. And about the dropped catches, I think Chandresh, it's about like the ball was falling a little short because it's on the slower side. This homework in the Indian team should have done right at before the game because they should have watched the WTC final and how the ball was falling short and Smith came up and broke his finger. So that calculation they should have done. Then probably they would have held on to those couple of chances that came their way. It would have been much better for India then. But as of now, as I see it, it was England's session.
Probably the fielding coach was very busy planning for the next fielding award ceremony. So maybe that's why. It's more about the social media content rather than the actual event. Avajit Da, how would you look at that session? That catch to Gill, it carried, but he couldn't hold on to it. And that catch to KL Rahul, he's playing once more at Lords. Should have been much more aware about the situation at the venue. So, where do you see? How do you see the session that has gone so far?
It's a 50-50 session. I think India had a bit of a hangover from their success at Headingley and did not bowl with enough discipline. When they got the line right, the length was wrong, and when the length was right, the line was wrong. And the pitch was offering assistance, so they could not maximize that situation. But I will give credit to Shubman Gill as a captain here. He noticed this, and introducing Nitish Reddy in the 14th over of the match was a pretty proactive sort of move. Nitish Reddy got his first wicket through a stroke of luck, you can say. But the second wicket that he got was pure gold. You can say it was probably the ball of the session, and it is good in that sense that we have used our fourth bowler. This will give confidence to Nitish as a batsman also, because we know that he had scored a century, and before that century he was constantly getting 30s and 40s. But after scoring that century, he has never been able to get even in double digits. His score since that Melbourne century has been 0, 1, 4, 1, 1. So to that extent, it is interesting. I would like to comment also a little on England's team selection. Someone said, that England's team, it's very difficult to get into this team, but it is more difficult to get out of this team. And that seems to be pretty on the spot. Zach Crawley, he has been getting out for injudicious shots, but he has again been persisted with. Shoaib Bashir, he has a bowling average that batsmen would like to die for, which is 60. And even Chris Wokes, his bowling average is 97. They have gone ahead with him. So they have maintained, the more or less the same team. there was much more scope for change. But they have only gone with two changes, which is Jeffrey Archer's, who is done. Uh, and one more change. So I think overall, is that does England have only one change?
Yeah, just one change. Jofra Archer in
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Josh
yeah.
Doyle.
So they had scope for a couple of more changes, but they didn't go ahead with that. So to that extent, you know, it's a 50-50 session. I think we are this pitch does not have as many runs as Leeds and as Leeds and Headingley. So to that extent, we should try to restrict England to around 300. We should try to get to bat today. That should be our aim. That we should be batting today. Before the day ends, we should be batting today.
Pratyush, what did you make of Jasprit Bumrah? He appeared to be drifting down the leg a bit. What did you make of his effort so far?
Maybe he was too fresh to bowl on this pitch. I mean, it was quite surprisingly. Say, you have mentioned about KL Rahul and Bumrah has played here, right? And he should have. I think he didn't bowl well. As plain and simple. And there's so much hype around TK's fresh is coming back, and obviously there's expectation from Bumrah. Maybe he'll come back better and with after the session, but he didn't bowl well. Uh, it's not. I mean, I was not surprised with the way Nitish Kumar Reddy bowled. To these two. I mean, one of these two openers. I mean, it was a stupid, I mean, rubbish shot from Ben Duckett, but as like Michael Vaughan has written in his column about Jack Crawley, is probably the most luckiest English cricketer to ever played for England of 56 tests, 30 ka test average. I mean, but having said that, I think coming back to Bumrah was he didn't bowl well. I think Akashdeep struggled. Maybe it was the first time he was struggling with the slope or whatever. I don't know what was happening. But I think Bumrah should have stepped up. Yeah.
Dwepen, we have some comments from our subscribers. We'll just pick up the questions. Sports fan says, who would have thought that Nitish Kumar Reddy would get maximum swing and seam movement across all four paces? Is it due to his action or skill?
Uh, I don't think he got the maximum seam and swing. What he got was enough. He is a kind of a kiss the deck bowler. He is not a hit the deck bowler. He's a kiss the deck bowler. He reminds me of Saurav Ganguly of 1996 when he went to England. He is like that. He is extremely innocuous. And he doesn't come. The ball doesn't come at a pace that the other which the other three generate. So that was where Duckett made the mistake. Duckett played the shot early, the ball came late. And about Zach Crawley is what he did was he pitched it up, and after the 10th or 11th over, the Duke's ball, that the lacquer just goes away a little bit, and the ball starts doing a little more till the ball is hard. So that 15-20 over period is the most difficult part when there is a little bit of help, and Nitish Reddy came on to bowl at the right time when England were looking to kind of after taking care of the danger part, they thought they will make the most of it, and Duckett got out, and Zach Crawley's delivery was a really good ball. It did not seam and swing a lot. It just did enough. That is more important. What Bumrah was doing, Bumrah was getting too much seam movement. So the ball was drifting down. They were pitching outside off, drifting down leg. It was almost like that. A couple of LBW shouts were like that. So that is what Nitish Reddy did. Nitish Reddy will not be effective through the match, but in these little patches, he can be effective if the batters try to take advantage of his bowling. So he's a kind of a good bowler for these conditions where where people try to take liberties against him. So he's just the right fit for these conditions given his batting skills also.
Avijit, I was just wondering, in this baseball era, they don't usually win the toss and bat. They like to chase fourth. What do you think has prompted this call by Ben Stokes to bat?
No, you're absolutely right. The statistics show that it's only the second time in the last 12 home tests that after winning the toss, England has chosen to bat. Uh, Look, there is definite signs that while England has shown a commitment to baseball, they are not playing the baseball game. I mean, look at the way today uh, Zach Crawley approached his innings. First 20 balls, he was defending. Only then he started to hit out. That is not the normal baseball style of play. The first hour of play, they scored only 39 runs. That again is not baseball style of play. So without admitting it, I think they are trying to tweak their own version of baseball.
Pratyush, we have a question from Rahul Ballav. He says, looks like English batters must have done some black magic. How else do they keep surviving again and again?
when नींबू और मिर्च तो दिखा नहीं कहीं पिच पे. When the grass was peeled off. So, so, so black magic तो I mean ठीक है. Weird question. I don't know sir क्या जवाब दें और भी. I don't think Black Magic and all they survived. I think if those two catches, the half, I mean, अगर होता तो situation कुछ और होता. But I'll agree with Vijit what he's saying that they have Ben Stokes has backtracked from what he has said in his press conference. He said that जो भी होगा will go back first. Today they were looking to survive जो उनको day 5 पे करना चाहिए था. To take a draw, right? Abhi, what they have done, I still feel. I mean, barring Joe Root, if I'm sure Oli Pop will get Oli Pop and then Harry Brook and all that. They have this narrative of baseball, and they'll try to justify it. So they can't. They can't. That's the way of cricket they have played. Under Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes. Coming back to this black magic thing, I don't think ऐसा कुछ है यार. मतलब क्रिकेट में I don't know, ये कहाँ से आता है यार ये सब दिमाग में. I don't know.
No,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
Basically, he's saying that they're pretty lucky. That's what he's saying.
Pretty lucky. So then we were also pretty lucky in the first hour of at Edgbaston when Chris Wokes का 2 या 3 umpire call हुआ था. Otherwise, the scoreline could have been completely different, right? तो it's a fine margin. It's game of cricket. किसी का भी होगा. Luck थोड़ा बहुत 19-20 तो होते ही रहता है.
Dwepan, apart from this lucky, unlucky, just want to know what do you make of this the slope thing at Lords? How big a factor is the slope at Lords? Because everybody keeps talking about it, and for a layman, it can be pretty
Yeah.
confusing.
Please
No,
the
no,
panda
either.
art pit समझाओ. I mean, I want to
No,
understand
no,
ये है क्या.
no, no. I am also a layman, and I also struggle with this slope thing. Like, really, coming down the slope
I think
for pace
Nasir
bowlers.
Hussain spoke about the slope in the second over itself.
Yeah, like Ashwin was saying a lot of things that's like sometimes the ball turns less, etc., etc. It is extremely technical, Chandresh. Like it is slightly difficult for me to explain it because this I also do not understand the slope thing. But what I understand is that probably bowlers who have the experience of dealing with the slope are better off in Lords. Those who are newcomers, those who are playing for the first time, sometimes struggle when they have to come up the slope to bowl because their length goes awry. Sometimes their run up is not the same. So and those are the things. So but these are also very, I am also speaking from a very layman's term. I will not, I am not in the best position to explain you what this idea of slope means. Like but what I have understood and gathered is that it is important to have the experience of playing in this slope. If you are a rookie, then you might just struggle, especially as a bowler.
Uh,
I've read multiple. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. I have read multiple stories. Basically, English journalists. They're basically what all the stories are around the slope is trying to protect their players. If a Joss Butler has conceded 26 buys, so Mark Boucher ने फलाने साल में Ellen Donald के against he struggled. If English batters collapsed, then Indian team under some cap in certain test they have collapsed also. So मतलब this is a very fine narrative to keep कि अगर जब भी वो होते हैं ना राजनीति में मुर्दे गारे नहीं जाते उसे बचा के रखा जाता है सही वक्त इस्तेमाल करने के लिए. So I feel मैंने जितना भी पढ़ा मुझे वही समझ में आया.
गावस्कर ने जब गावस्कर ने सनी डेज में स्लोप के तहत में एक सेंटेंस लिखा है कि he is describing the slope and then he says I shudder to think of it as a headquarters of cricket because of the slope.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. But Abhijita, matlab, as in, just wanted to understand, matlab, Test cricket has been there for 150 years or so on. Still, there is this slope is still a factor. Lords has been around for such a long time. It's still a factor. Why is it still such a factor in cricket?
नहीं देखिए from what I see ब्रिटिश लोग इन सब मामलों में थोड़ा ट्रेडिशन को वो कंटिन्यू करते हैं. They also market tradition in a very good way. The best example of that is Wimbledon. हाँ, दुनिया भर में घास जो है टेनिस से गायब हो चुकी है. हाँ, लेकिन Wimbledon has been able to peddle it as tradition, but I think it is also a superbly marketing tool. It gives a sense of uniqueness. Lords के और slope के मामले में भी, it becomes a conversation point. It becomes a discussion thing, कि भाई Lords है और वहाँ पे भी slope है, जो दुनिया के किसी ground में नहीं है. So I think it is, and they don't believe in changing things because, एक uniqueness आता है उससे. So that is, I think, their approach to the slope. I'm not getting into whether it is, the things that say Nasir Hussain and always saying that इससे आप, you should be standing closer to the wicket and all that. वो अलग बात है. But I think the larger thing that they have not been able to change the slope thing, or they don't want to change the slope thing, is because they generally continue with tradition.
Dwepan, this slope thing is quite interesting, and the pitch being slow. We saw in the World Test Championship final, Steve Smith came in a step ahead and injured his finger and missed a couple of test matches in West Indies, or one test match in West Indies. Do you think the Indian team should have taken a cue from that World Test Championship final, or is it expecting too much for somebody to? In today's day and age, they're always thinking 5 steps ahead. So they would have had somebody looking at the match very closely.
Yes, I think they missed a trick there. Like that was probably the only blemish that they did. Like in the first session, that they were a couple of steps behind. Like WTC final, they should have seen even on the first day it was happening. That's why Steve Smith came forward, dropped that catch of Bavuma, broke his finger, and South Africa ran away with it. But then that was the mistake that they did, and this was a little bit of uh, homework that they should have done. I'm surprised that they didn't do. I think the Indian team does its homework normally pretty well, but it is surprising that they did not do and let go of those half chances that came their way. They can still, uh, had it not happened, had that first, I think there was a kind of a nick in the first over itself, right? Like which did not carry to Rishabh Pant. So. Uh, had it happened, it would have been better. Like I'm surprised that they did not do that, because probably it's day one and they thought that there is a greenish tinge to it, so they thought that it will carry a little more than it did actually. But yeah, I'm slightly surprised that they didn't take a couple of steps forward, the wicketkeeper and slip cord.
Okay, interesting. There's a question, Pratyush, from Babar Ali. He says, do the England batters want to tire out the bowlers by batting first?
That's what I mean. Traditional Test cricket, mein, that's what happens, right? I mean, why baseball gets so much stick is because of this reason. थोड़ा सा I think I feel Suman Gill must be very happy as a captain, pleased as a captain that they forced England to change their way of bat style. Otherwise, we मतलब 25 ओवर में they're not even scoring at the rate of 4. So I mean that's how Test cricket is. You grind down your opponent. तो जो होता है अभी ब्रावाडो उसमें बेसबॉल में तो नहीं है. It is good for, as Avijit Da said, the Britishers they are very good at doing marketing. सब कुछ को बेचना, बुक भी सेल होना, हेडलाइंस के लिए अच्छा होना, and it's good for them. But Test cricket is not what baseball is. So अभी जो हो रहा है, जो हुआ the first season, exactly how it is. I still feel England will be more pleased. Uh, but yeah, I mean that's how they're going to. It's going to happen. Win the toss. Now the pitch will be pretty flat, and they will try and grind down India.
Now, looking at the pitch and everything, Abhijit, should India have tinkered with their playing 11 and probably brought in Kuldeep Yadav? It's too early in the piece, but just thinking out of the box over there.
नहीं वो वही है ना, वो थॉट प्रोसेस इज डिफेंसिव थॉट प्रोसेस. तो डिफेंसिव थॉट प्रोसेस यही है कि हमें हमारा बैटिंग बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है भगवान की दया से, लेकिन वी शुड नॉट टेक अ चांस विद द बैटिंग एंड द वैल्यू दैट कुलदीप will bring to the bowling is less than the value that Washington brings to the batting. This is the thought process of our think tank. That keeping Washington brings more value in the batting side as well. Probably the overall package that Washington Sundar brings is better than Kuldeep. I disagree with that. I do feel that Kuldeep has a lot of values that nobody else in this team can bring. He has that ability to deceive, batsmen in the air. To that extent, the pitch does not matter. If you defeat the batsman in the air, you are basically you can do it anywhere. So Kuldeep has that thing, but जब मैनेजमेंट का भरोसा नहीं है उसके ऊपर ना, तो फिर वो there is no way that he has not got into the team in the first 3 matches, and it doesn't look like they will go for it. Probably if India had lost the first match, the second match, we would have gone for him. But now the management having been able to can say that we stuck with that thing and it has worked, so why change?
Weapon one reaction from the Indian camp, especially Shubman Gill and Gautam Gambhir after the second test match, was that when Jadeja got out, it was about 415 for 7 or something of that sort. That partnership between Shubman and Washington Sundar really propelled the score forward, and that lead of 90 that could have been if Washington Sundar was not playing became 180. So they have a ready justification for not playing Kuldeep Yadav. Do you agree with that?
Yes, they have a ready justification. Whether I agree with that or not, actually, now nothing succeeds like success. And last test you have won with that lineup and with that theory. See, obviously, what I see is they do not have, though they have got their runs, they do not have enough confidence in their top 6. That is why they need the buffer of the 7 and 8 to score runs, so that they have enough on the board. So that is obvious. So that is, and it is about the comfort level of the captain. So the captain feels comfortable with it. This has been kind of the go-to strategy for India for a while now. They make their, when they're playing abroad, they make their team batting heavy and then bank on the pacers to do the job and the spinners to do the to contain runs and maybe take wickets in the second innings if there is a bit of help, a couple of wickets. That's it. They think their entire strength is in the pace attack. So that is their thought process. With without Bumrah it worked. Here they have Bumrah back, so I,
Yeah, I think we've lost Dwaipen there for a bit. Yeah, Vijay, you wanted to say something?
तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि देखिए हम वो जो 90 रन जो था ना जो वॉशिंगटन सुंदर और शुभमन गिल ने जोड़े थे वो एक टैंजिबल अमाउंट है, हम उसको देख सकते हैं। लेकिन क्या हम ये फोर्सी कर सकते हैं कि अगर कुलदीप खेल रहा होता तो क्या वो हैरी ब्रूक और जेमी स्मिथ का 303 रन का स्टैंड होता? उसमें अगर हैरी ब्रूक और वो दोनों को वो 50 रन पे तोड़ देता तो हमें 250 रन का फायदा था उसमें, वो भी तो हो सकता था। But you see, that is not the call we are taking. We are getting into the comfort of the runs, but we are not putting enough faith in Kuldeep's ability to break through the defenses, the breach defenses of the Englishmen in England, and win us or at least give us the vital breakthroughs.
Yeah, Dwaipen, you want to complete your thought?
no, yeah, more or less that. What I feel is that, see, they sometimes do not play Kuldeep on Indian turners also because they are not comfortable with the idea of a wrist spinner. They have the option of a wrist spinner, but because the thing about wrist spinners sometimes is that the control is less. You can go for runs if like there is a tendency to bowl that odd short ball and all that. So that slight, I think that worry has been historically bothering the Indian captains for a while now. That is why Kuldeep Yadav is not playing. That is why we are not seeing wrist spinners coming across in Indian cricket, especially in red ball cricket. In white ball cricket, yes, but in red ball cricket, no, because they are wary of those easy runs being scored. They probably think Kuldeep still lacks the discipline to contain runs. That is, and they believe the spinner's role in a situation like this is to contain, and if a couple of wickets come, that's a bonus.
Pratyush, we have a question from Rahul Ballab once again. He says, fielding is a massive problem for India even today. Catches were dropped. Why can't Rishabh Pant step up a bit while keeping? The ball is dropping just 6 inches in front of him. This is Rishabh's, I think, second test match at Lords. He played in the 2021 test match as well. In 2018, it was DK who was keeping instead of Rishabh. He should know better.
And I think we have two fielding coaches. Maybe plan नहीं हो पाया होगा. They're busy after his Western test. The team they're pretty busy. तो हो सकता है might have I mean, as the Payan has said, they have missed the trick. I mean, we have seen ball falling. मतलब आगे गिर रहा है ball. So I think it's the job we have. I mean, again, I'll repeat this. We have two fielding coaches. This is the job of them to prepare to make chart out a plan. I mean, yes, Rishabh is playing there this is his second test, but again, we have seen thoda sa uneven bounce because, as you mentioned, like earlier about Steve Smith, the the decision of Smith moving forward was because of that, because ball was falling short. Then suddenly the one came and he got injured and we missed a test in West Indies. So I mean, there's no certain. I mean, those players, those who are in the field, they must have prepared something, or the fielding coaches, the two fielding coaches must have given them some direction कि इधर खड़ा होना है, इधर नहीं खड़ा होना है. But yeah, I mean they should. I mean, by hopefully after the first session, Rishabh Pant and captain will take a decision between them कि हाँ अभी let's move थोड़ा आगे, we can stand a step forward.
Dwepen, it's interesting that Pratyush says that because Ryan Tenderskate used to play a lot of county cricket. So he surely would have played a lot more cricket at Lords than T. Dilip. So he should probably know more than T. Dilip. Plus also the fast bowling coach, Borne Morkel, and the head coach, uh, Gautam Gambhir, because the batting coach has not played, I don't think has played any or little cricket at Lords. So surely the Ryan Tenderskate should have stepped in here.
Probably it's day one, Chandresh. Like, let's cut them a little bit of slack. Like, it's day one, and they probably saw that they probably thought that there could be a little more carry. And let's not forget, Steve Smith broke his finger trying to come up, and so on day one they expected that there will be a little more carry than finally it happened, but it it's okay. Like, we need not be so critical about this thing so early on. Like, it hota hai. It is not as grave a mistake probably as we are making it out to be. It's okay. We are slightly nitpicking, I think. uh ठीक है, because it's day one, there is a bit of grass, and they thought that there will be a little more carry than there was. So yeah, that's the thing.
वो लंच टाइम पे लॉर्ड्स में खाना अच्छा होता है ना, इसीलिए मतलब एज इन थोड़ा लंबा लग रहा है शो, इसलिए सवाल थोड़ा नेट पिकिंग भी कर रहे हैं इस वक्त। अभिजीत दा, एक सवाल आया है उज्जवल मौर्य, इतना रन्स बनाने के बाद भी बताए बैटिंग डेप्थ चाहिए, 30 डिग्रीज ऑल 5 days, स्पिनर्स विल डेफिनेटली कम इनटू एक्शन।
Yes, spinners will come into action. I would have preferred the last last over before lunch also by a spinner. तो हमेशा वो अच्छा रहता है. In the previous test which we had won at Lords, we were expecting spinners to come into action in the on the last day, but it was primarily won by Siraj and Ishant. Bumrah also to some extent. But हम लोगों ने उस समय जडेजा को यूज किया था, और मेरे ख्याल से उनको 6 ओवर दिया था, और उन्होंने 7 या 8 या ऐसे कुछ रन दिए थे, पर विकेट उस बार भी नहीं मिला था. So I think again the pacers will play the predominant role, and we really don't have spinners who can who are sort of who believe in the craft, in the 360-degree craft of spin bowling. They are utilitarian spinners. So वो अपने हिसाब से जितना कुछ कर सकते हैं करेंगे, but this match, if we have to win, we have to win through our pacers and our batters.
Yeah, just about a minute to go before play restarts at Lords. Starting with you, Pratyush, what do you think would happen later in the day in this test match?
I think we'll bowl better. I certainly do believe so. Bumrah will take a couple of. I want to see Bumrah versus Root more. I mean, just after the break. Then I think I'm sure Akashdeep and Siraj. I think Pacers will get the job done for us.
Abhijit da, what's your take?
I don't think our pacers have bowled as well as we expected them to, and I don't expect our pacers to bowl as well as we again expect them to. Having said that, I think again, it's a 50-50 kind of a pitch, 50-50 kind of a scenario. Maybe another 100 runs and another 2 wickets.
Final thought from you, Dwaipan. What do you think?
I think Joe Root is the key here. Like, first 15 minutes, if Joe Root survives and gets in, deals with Bumrah, then could get slightly long for India. The day might just get slightly long for India. Not very long, because there is a bit of help for pace bowlers. It won't be a 400 day, but it can get slightly tricky if Joe Root's wicket is not achieved in the first 20-25 minutes, half an hour.
Interesting. Play is just about to restart at Lords. The players are slowly coming back onto the field, and we'll have action coming live from Lords very shortly. That's it for now. We'll be back again tomorrow. Remember, you can be part of the conversation on the show by liking, sharing, subscribing, and also commenting on the video. And we'll take that as part of the conversation that we are having here on Beyond the Boundary, right here on TOI Digital. That's it for today. Thanks a lot, Avijita, Pratyush, and Dwepen. We'll be back again tomorrow at lunchtime. Till then, it's goodbye and God bless from all four of us and our backend team. Take good care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow.